the people here in this community were geared up for a great year. People had bought more inventory than they had before. They were putting on more staff than they had before. You remember, we were just coming off of 2 years of economic crisis, and we saw rebuilding. We look at the real estate business, and you could track sales were beginning to pick up. Every indication was that we were in great shape.
There are a lot of challenges to living on the coast, but I'm not too sure any of us were ever prepared for what happened in the Deepwater Horizon. All of a sudden, we started facing something that we had never seen before.
Right now, a lot of places, they're not trust our seafood. With the oil crisis, basically it's put us out of jobs.
Once that oil spill happened, we started seeing where we were having 20 or 30 cancellations, sometimes in a day, for the coming months. I've lost everything of my own, and the only thing that I have left is this business.
We filed with the Secretary of State to close our company. We've had to let go 7 employees, good folks with families. It's a dream I had. I don't know how it's going to turn out.
The business was really starting to come back. The phone had started ringing. We have several little advertising programs that we do, and they had started generating responses. It had started showing some promise.
We had just formed a new company, specifically for the job that we're doing here at Lagoon Pass.
I was adding new customers as people were buying condos. They would, if they wanted to rent on their own, they would find us.
Supplies were in place, money was spent, and then came the oil crisis. And what happened then? Customers didn't come. We were off somewhere between 30 and 50% of the people that normally come here didn't come.
People were being devastated. Immediately they were thrown out of work in the seafood industry. The shipbuilding industry started going down when the moratorium was put on oil exploration and drilling.
We lost the contracts that we had pending. The phone quit ringing. Nobody was spending any money on anything.
Where I would know by April what I was going to be doing throughout the whole summer, and my summer would be pretty well booked out, cancellations started.
We started this job in February. We worked March, April. May the 2nd, they closed the pass, and they shut me down.
All we knew was what we saw on TV. We smelled oil because they were burning it offshore, and man, you walk outside and you smell it and your eyes would burn. And you know, we see pictures from the Alaskan oil spill and birds covered in oil, and you know, it was very devastating emotionally, financially, any way you can imagine. I mean, it was like our home was fixing to be just completely destroyed.
When the oil spill hit and people started to see that they couldn't go out and fish, they couldn't generate revenue, they couldn't rent their condos, their restaurants weren't as full, we started to see a slowdown with respect to them being able to make their mortgage payments. People were severely concerned about the concept of not being able to maintain the livelihood that they had always enjoyed. Now, if you can think through the mental impact that might have and how that might impact someone's personal health, if you think about the idea that you no longer have the capacity to support your family, it brings about a tremendous weight, and I think as a result, people around this region impacted in a way that no one could ever really fathom.
On September the 27th, I signed an executive order for one reason: to establish a coastal recovery commission of Alabama that deals strictly with one thing: building a new economy, building a new quality of life that has never existed before. I went out and I picked someone because they have done it before. They did it in Mississippi, and that is Ricky Matthews. I know he did something very similar to this for Governor Haley Barbour after Katrina, and it was a remarkable success.
After Hurricane Katrina, I had an opportunity to experience something that few publishers in America have had the opportunity to experience: to be publisher of a newspaper that was ground zero for the worst natural disaster in American history, Hurricane Katrina. The oil spill in South Alabama was a devastating event, and I think one of the things we got to be focused on is the fact that from a devastating event, from a disaster like the oil spill, can come great opportunity. There's been a lot of work since the oil spill, a lot of what I would actually refer to as fragmented efforts, very good efforts. But the opportunity here for us now to put all of those fragmented efforts into one cohesive plan and to create a unified vision for South Alabama that all Alabamians can buy into is extremely important.
The biggest concern, the most immediate concern we have today, is how do we get relief to the people that are suffering the most in Mobile and Baldwin County. But that's not what this commission is going to be primarily focused on. They're going to be focused on what we're doing next year.
Whether you live in Dothan or Huntsville or Montgomery or Tuscaloosa or the corners of the state, it doesn't matter. What happens in South Alabama is important to you. It's helping fund education. It's helping fund government. It's helping fund roads and highways across the state. I think it's going to become very clear to everyone. I think that's one of the benefits from this effort, frankly, is to help all Alabamians understand why coastal Alabama is critical to them, not just to go on vacation, but even if they stay home, it's going to be critical to them because the health of South Alabama ultimately determines the health of the state.